fucking damn it. I can't beat this stupid ass stage in Catherine Classic. This fucking final Babel stage. And why? Because the US version is so fucking glitched to the point where it's nearly impossible to beat. You gotta have task-like reflexes to fucking beat this shit. I've wasted days straight freaking trying to beat this damn shit. And I think I've just had enough. I feel like I've wasted so much freaking time in this week that I need to figure out something else to do. Like, maybe make a random YouTube video. Maybe a video of me reviewing a game. But what other game have I played besides Catherine lately? Oh, wait. I know. I know exactly what to review. Okay. What's up, guys? I'm Esther. As you could tell, I'm struggling a lot with a video game called Catherine. Yeah, kind of losing my mind on that fucking game. But if you know me well, I love losing my fucking mind on video games. Yes, I love games that are so unbelievably infuriating that I want to rip out my thinning fucking hair. Anyway, let's talk about a game that does the opposite. A game that doesn't piss me off and frustrate me. This game that I'm going to be talking about is a game that my friend and I, Alex, have been kind of interested in trying for a long while now, since its release, I suppose. It's called YOHANE the Parhelion Blaze in the Deep Blue. That is what it's called, right? I'll have to fucking fact check, because there's like 3 fucking titles or whatever. There's like fucking a couple YOHANE the Parhelion, games. But this is the one that's on console, and I don't just mean the Switch, like the Numazu other fucking card game or whatever. This one is on Xbox, it's on PlayStation, I'm pretty sure it's also on the Switch, and it's on Steam. It has pretty damn good ratings, 9 out of 10 on Steam, and on Xbox, pretty much every review is 5 stars. And I'm just curious as to why it's rated so well. Let me get into that. So YOHANE the Parhelion is a Metroidvania type game. It's based on the anime of YOHANE the Parhelion, which is a spin-off of an anime called Love Live Sunshine. YOHANE, aka Yoshiko, she is the main character in this spin-off and also in the YOHANE the Parhelion games. YOHANE is a persona that she takes in Love Live Sunshine, where she's like this fallen angel or whatever. That's the persona. I don't think, well, actually, I think it's kind of the same shtick in the YOHANE the Parhelion games and the anime, where she is like a fallen angel or whatever the fuck. I don't know. And in case you're wondering, this right here is Yoshiko from Love Live Sunshine. So in YOHANE the Parhelion Blaze and the Deep Blue, I'm pretty sure that's what it's fucking called. It's a 2D Metroidvania. Basically, there's this underwater dungeon that just like randomly appears out of fucking nowhere in this place that they live called Numazu. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. But it just randomly appears in Numazu, And Yohane's friends um, are very curious as to what the fuck it's about. So because of their curiosity, they go to venture in to the dungeon and they get lost. And now it's Yohane's job to dive into the depths of the dungeon, to brave out on this adventure inside this fucking mysterious ass dungeon to find her friends and the items that they lost, like these special items or whatever. Um, so if you've played a Metroidvania like Ori or Hollow Knight or Gal Guardians or Moonscars, etc., etc., you kind of probably understand how they work. Basically, you're exploring this fucking area of the game. You know, you fight enemies, bosses. You get like currency. You get materials. You can, you know, craft things, or you can find weapons and armor. You know, and learn abilities. And when you learn these abilities, it helps you progress further into the game. You know, all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty much the exact same thing with Yohane the Parhelion Blaze in the Deep Blue, where, you know, you have to find Yohane's friends, and those friends have these abilities that help you with progressing, you know, certain areas in the game. So the friends in question, you have Chica, who has like this wind gun that helps push these, like, you know, rocks, I guess, that are like in these carts, you know, that are like obstacles. She pushes those out of the way with like this wind gun. I don't know what the fuck the gun is called, but it blasts. Okay, it does a little bit of fucking blasting. Um, and then you got Rico, who kind of reminds me of like Robin from Fire Emblem Awakening, with the fucking fire projectile that she has. It literally is just like arc fire. If you know who Robin is from Fire Emblem Awakening, you'll know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. But basically, the point of her fire ability is, you probably guessed it, she melts ice obstacles. So areas that are blocked off by walls of ice, she melts them so that you can progress forward. Pretty fucking simple. Next up, you have Kanan. Kanan in this game, it's she's a little interesting. She has this giant frog robot. I don't remember the name of the frog robot, but if I do remember, I'll either put it in the video or I'll put it like somewhere in the description or comments. I don't fucking know. But yeah, anyway, she has this giant frog robot. And when you summon Kanan, her ability is, she is on this frog robot and they dive down and break floors. So like breakable stone floors that you can't go through, they can break those so that you can go down. Basically, that's what it is. And it also, a lot of these abilities can be used as attacks as well. So Rico's can obviously be used. Chica's can be used. Chica's can actually stun enemies as well, the wind blast and whatnot. Kanan's ability can like crush enemies. It does a lot of damage. If I remember correctly, it actually does the most damage out of all of the girls' primary abilities. Now, when I say primary ability, every single one of the girls has a secondary ability that you can get by finding their item in the game. If you find their item and bring it back to like the home base, I think it's called the Fortune Parlor, and you give the item to them, it unlocks their second ability, which is usually something like really powerful or just really useful, I should say, that can actually help you with progressing in very specific parts of the dungeon. Um, so after Kanan, there is, I believe it's Yo or Hanamaru. I'm trying to remember the order of like that they're in, like in the menu, but I'm pretty sure it's either Yo or Hanamaru, so I'm gonna go with Yo first. Yo, in this, I don't exactly know like what she is. She might be like a pirate or something. I could be totally fucking wrong, but she definitely seems like one with the way that she talks, the way that she's dressed, and her ability is literally her shooting Yohane out of a fucking cannon. And she doesn't stop um, until she hits a wall. Yohane, when she gets launched out of the fucking cannon, just goes and goes, and she doesn't stop until she hits a fucking wall. So the use for that is when there are areas where Yohane cannot make a certain jump horizontally. You know, she doesn't have enough horizontal distance to make it to a certain spot. You use Yo, and she shoots Yohane to go far to get to whatever fucking destination Yohane needs to fucking get to, right? That pretty much sums that up. Next is Hanamaru. Hanamaru has probably the goofiest fucking ability out of all the girls. It's really random. I really don't know why it's her ability. I don't know if it's a reference from the anime. Mind you, I've never watched Yohane the Parhelion, like Parhelion, sorry, that anime. I've never watched that shit. So I've only played the game. Yeah. Uh, but basically, what she does is when you summon Hanamaru, she literally like turns into fucking Sonic. You might think that I'm insane for saying that, but no. She turns into fucking Sonic the goddamn Hedgehog. Yeah, now sure, she doesn't turn all fucking blue and turn into a goddamn hedgehog, like literally. No. But she copies one of his fucking moves. Like, she literally rolls, like she, when you summon her, she starts spin dashing and rolls like forward, spin dashing, like Sonic does in the fucking video games. I, I don't I don't understand why that's her ability. I don't know if it's a reference from the fucking anime. I don't fucking know. It's random as shit. It's goofy as hell. And maybe that's why I like it. Because it's so fucking stupid. But the use for that is it destroys spiky terrain. So if there is a part of the dungeon where it's a big, long spike floor, and mind you, these spikes do a shit ton of damage. So depending on how many spikes there are, you're probably not going to be able to damage boost through those spikes, and you're gonna need Hanamaru to break them so that you can fucking progress. So yeah, it's really fucking goofy, and it can also be used as an attack, of course. It doesn't do like a shit ton of damage, but it does more damage than like Chica's ability, for example. Next up is Mari. Actually, no, not Mari. I want to say Daya, Ruby's sister. In this game, Daya, I don't remember what her like occupation is, but she wears glasses, and she seems kind of like an authority figure, which represents her character well because in Love Live Sunshine, that anime, which I did watch with my friend Alex, she is very assertive in that anime. She is very like stern. She's usually very serious. Um, in Yohane the Parhelion, she's not as assertive and as serious as she is in Love Live Sunshine. However, she still has that that like IQ, like really high IQ sort of. I know everything. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Sort of character. She seems like really smart, and she seems like someone that you can rely on, count on. Uh, she's like an authority figure, basically. Her ability is she has like this lightning sword. Pretty interesting. Uh, I I love me some swords, but just seeing this girl that I've seen from a literal school idol anime have a fucking sword is just so funny to me. But yeah, she has a fucking blue sword that is charged with lightning, and you summon her to slash generators that are in the dungeon for some fucking reason. This is like a mysterious, ancient looking dungeon, and it has electric generators. Right. Um, I'm not sure how much sense that makes, but we're gonna say that it makes sense for the sake of it. But basically, she uses that lightning sword and slashes the generators, and it turns on power in certain parts of the dungeon so that it's not like pitch black in there. Because there are parts in the dungeon where you can't see a fucking thing. Uh, so you're kind of aimlessly roaming, and you can get fucked up by enemies, you can get fucked up by the terrain. It can result in you dying. So you probably need Daya to actually help with that bullshit. Moving on from that fucking shit. Next up is Mari. Mari in this, I think, is. I'm not sure if she's an antagonist. At least in the anime. In the game, she's not an antagonist. But in the anime, she seems like she's an antagonist. And I'm saying that because I'm pretty sure she's literally a demon. She has demonic horns, and she rules over. She has like control of these creatures. I think she calls them monsties. Yeah, very creative name, I know. But I'm pretty sure that's what she calls them. Um, and she like orders them to like attack and do shit. She has like a fucking army of these little like monster creature things. So I'm assuming she is like a queen of sorts in the actual anime and in the game. Her ability in the game is basically when you summon her, she blasts like she summons like a bunch of like her little monsties, like sends them charging forward, and the attack goes through terrain, and it's an instant attack. Uh, like as in, it's like a singular hit that when the hitbox shows up, basically it instantly covers the fucking screen, like horizontally. It's like a big horizontal line. It just instantly fucking covers the screen. Um, the use for that is there's not a whole lot of specific parts for it, but there are very specific parts of the dungeon where there will be these locked doors or gates, whatever you want to call them, that can only be unlocked if you hit these two symbol wheels. Like they're kind of like cogs, I guess, and both of them have symbols on them. One of them is a sun, and the other one is a moon, and you have to hit them both at the exact same time. And now nobody's attacks can really do that. It has to be instantly at the exact same fucking time. There are some weapons that Yohane has that can hit multiple targets, and it will seem like it's at the exact same time, but it's not. So Mari's ability is what actually hits those cogs at the same time to unlock the gates or doors that are fucking locked so that you can progress. And last but not least, out of the girls that you rescue, there's Ruby. Um, Ruby in the Love Live Sunshine anime is, in my opinion, a really squeaky, small, annoying little fuck. Okay, so I find it very fitting that she's a literal fairy in YOHANE the Parhelion. She's this small little fucking fairy. It's very fucking fitting. Um, Her ability is something that isn't really meant for progressing. It's more so something that just helps with protecting you. What she does is when you summon Ruby, she summons this pink cloud that goes in front of YOHANE. And the cloud will block projectiles. Now, when this cloud is out, YOHANE cannot attack using one of her allies or friends or whatever. She can only attack using her secondary weapon, which you use by pressing, the right trigger. Because if you try to summon another ally while the cloud is out, the cloud will disappear. So you have to keep that in mind when playing. Because I didn't know that at first, and I got fucked up by a couple things because of that. So that's all the girls that you rescue. I'm not going to talk about all their secondary abilities because if I'm being honest, I don't remember all of them. I only remember a select few. I remember Mari's second ability stops time, so it freezes time. It's only, well, I mean, it is pretty useful, like, in general, but when it comes to progression in the dungeon to actually, like, do certain things, there's only, like, I think, like, literally 1 or 2 times where it's actually needed to get something. So you don't have a whole lot to actually do with it to really progress. So you're probably not going to use it much at all. Ruby's secondary ability is she summons this like monster thing that eats whatever is like in front of it. I think something like that. So it eats pretty much just about anything. So if there is an area in the dungeon where there is something that's blocking your way that Chica cannot push, and nobody else can actually destroy, like with Rico, how she can destroy ice walls, that sort of thing, you would have to use Ruby's secondary ability that swallows that terrain so you can actually move forward. Now, just like with Mari's secondary ability, this ability doesn't have a whole lot of fucking practicality either. You kind of only use it like literally one time. At least I only used it one time to actually get something. So, just like Mari's secondary ability, this is an ability that you're probably hardly ever going to use, or you're just never going to fucking use except for like that one time. If you're trying to, 100% the game. Which, by the way, 100%ing this game is insanely easy. But I'll get into that in just a second. Hanamaru's secondary ability is literally her summoning a fucking laptop. A laptop. And she turns it on, and she literally dies. She fucking explodes. Kamikaze type shit. SpongeBob, there's a, like that fucking episode of SpongeBob where there's a fucking bomb strapped to his chest because he's trying to get Gary to take a fucking bath. Gary, there's a bomb strapped to my chest. It's gonna explode in 3 seconds unless you take a bath type shit. That's what her fucking ability, her second ability is. Mind-blowing. No, not mind-blowing. I should say just blowing in general. Just fucking boom, explosion. That type of shit. It does a fuck ton of freaking damage. Its blast radius is crazy. It's pretty much just a big fucking damn boom attack. That's what it is. It's funny as shit. And it's so funny, in fact, that literally in my own Discord server with my fucking friends, I have that as a goddamn sticker. of her literally exploding with that fucking laptop. It's that fucking funny. Daya's secondary ability is her being summoned on a fucking electric motorcycle. She's literally wearing a motorcycle helmet and everything. Like she's straight out of fucking Tron. Oh my god, it's such a fucking fever dream. Like what universe does this fucking take place in? I mean, obviously YOHANE the Parhelion, but for fuck's sake, it's like it's like ancient times. Like what's the fucking timeline of this shit? It looks like fucking medieval type shit, you know, like with wizardry type shit, fucking angel, demon, king, queen, fucking wizard type shit, and you know, all that crap, right? Why the fuck are there motorcycles? Why the fuck is there a laptop? Why is there actual technology in this fucking universe? I have no fucking idea. And like I said before, I've never watched this fucking anime. YOHANE the Parhelion. I've watched Sunshine, okay? Love Live Sunshine is nothing like YOHANE the Parhelion. The only fucking similarity is the goddamn main girls. That's fucking it. Everything else is completely fucking different. So, I don't know. I don't know why Daya has a fucking motorcycle. And what does she do with this motorcycle? She drives it. Yeah. You probably thought that I was going to say something like, oh, like cool as fuck. Like, I don't know. Fucking bazookas just get summoned out of its fucking ass or whatever. Or, I don't know. It fucking grows wings and just starts fucking bombing the entire goddamn screen. I don't fucking know. You know, she just rides it. She just goes fucking forward with it. You know, it's like a charge attack. It's so useless. There is no point in ever fucking using it. There just isn't. YOHANE in this game has so many strong ass weapons that she can obtain or craft, I guess I should say, or cast, whatever. To where you don't even need most of the girl's like secondary abilities, because most of the secondary abilities are just like strong attacks, but they're not that strong. They're pretty fucking strong, but they're not super practical. And I also forgot to mention that when you use the girl's abilities, it takes away DP. And no, I don't mean fucking Dragon Punch like Street Fighter. DP in this game stands for Dark Points or Darkness Points, which is like mana, magic points, basically. Anyways, Chica's secondary ability, I'm pretty sure, is just her with like two other random characters. I don't know if there are other girls that like are part of the team that get summoned with Chica, but basically, Chica's secondary ability, she gets summoned with two other characters, and they like instantly shoot like this big old wind blast. So it's pretty much just a slightly upgraded version of her, you know, regular ability. It's fucking lame. I'm not gonna lie. Rico's secondary ability, is like, how do I explain it? It's basically like she shoots like three like waves of fire. That's kind of it, really. It's nothing too fucking crazy either. It does seem kind of just like an upgraded version of her regular ability. So, yeah. Then Kanon's secondary ability, I'm pretty sure it's still that frog robot thing that she drops down with. It'll land on the enemy, but with the secondary ability, oh, you guys won't fucking believe what happens. The frog just starts punching. That's it. It's nothing crazy. It doesn't like start fucking breathing fire like some badass freaking shit. No, it starts boxing. It starts throwing hands. A big ass fucking frog robot thing is throwing hands. It's like a fucking flurry of punches. Some JoJo Bizarre Adventure type shit. That's what it is. And it's weak as fuck. There is pretty much no reason to ever fucking use it. Ever. I've beaten this game. I've 100%ed it. You know, I beat all the fucking bosses, did the boss rush bullshit, all of that. Never have I ever had a moment where I have been like, you know what? Maybe I should use Kanan's secondary ability. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty fucking useful. No. No. Even Chica's secondary fucking ability, as lame as it is, has more practicality than Kanan's. It just sucks. It seems like lazy as fuck. Ugh. And then last but not least, I think last but not least, I don't think I forgot anybody, is Yo. With her secondary ability, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same thing as her regular ability. She just blasts you out of a cannon, but this time it breaks through things. I don't know. It's like a bigger like explosion. I don't fucking know. It's the exact same thing as her regular fucking ability. There's not really a whole lot of practicality to it at all. It's basically just the same fucking thing. So you're just wasting more darkness points by using it. There's no fucking point. Okay. So now let's actually talk about the gameplay and all that. So in this game, Yohane has this partner. Her name is Lilaps. She's like this fucking magical wolf creature. Pretty, you know, cool looking wolf, I guess. And it can fucking talk, by the way. Straight up Brian from fucking Family Guy type of crap going on. The dog can fucking talk. Though I guess in a magical ass world that is YOHANE the Parhelion, I guess that's to be expected. But I didn't expect that. But yeah, she can fucking talk. So Lilaps is the only character in the game that does not spend darkness points. Lilaps is your primary attack. And what Lilaps does is she just claws. She just does like a fucking slash, a generic ass slash, and that's it. Which doesn't sound that bad on paper, you know. Every Metroidvania has just regular ass generic attacks that you use pretty much like 90% of the fucking game. Like 99% of the game, I should fucking say. It's the main thing that you're gonna be using when fighting. Okay? It makes sense. It doesn't spend any fucking points. You might as well fucking use it, obviously. The problem with it, though, is it is very, very weak. And it, although the attack comes out pretty much instantly, its cooldown is pretty slow. See, in Hollow Knight, for anybody that's played that, in Hollow Knight, when you're playing as the knight, you can slash very quickly. And there's like no cooldown, really. There's not a whole lot of fucking cooldown. You can just slash, you know, you can just do that. With Lilaps in YOHANE the Parhelion, she just slashes, and then you're just like fucking frozen. And then you can slash again. And then you're frozen. You know, it's like such a long pause. Like it's only like a 1 second or 2 second fucking pause, so it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're fighting like enemies or like a boss or whatever, it feels so slow, so sluggish that you don't even want to use Lilaps. It's so fucking shit. The power of her attack is weak as hell. That's one thing. And it's slow as fuck, basically. Well, it comes out really fast, but you have a lot of fucking cooldown with it. So it's not that great. Now, if you're wondering, you can make Lilaps' attack do more damage. However, you have to get certain materials to craft, or cast, I should say, the accessory to actually do so. Where it's like a collar or whatever the fuck that Lilaps wears, and she just does slightly more damage. That is the only time where I was actually like, okay, I actually kind of like using Lilaps now, because she actually does damage. Okay, I'm not having to fucking swing at a boss 50,000 goddamn times to fucking kill them. The shit actually does more damage. You know, I don't have to use fucking offense talismans or whatever the fuck they're called to strengthen my attack or whatever, because Lilaps is already strong enough now. Great. All in all, it's a very shit primary weapon. Usually in a Metroidvania, you have a weapon that is pretty fucking decent in a lot of ways. It's your go-to. Lilaps is not a very good go-to. That's why I don't enjoy Lilaps as a weapon. Yohane doesn't actually attack herself ever. She either uses Lilaps or she uses one of the other girl's abilities, which is interesting. Even though Yohane literally seems like a bitch that can do like magical shit. I don't fucking know. Anyway, so earlier I mentioned that I 100%ed YOHANE the Parhelion, and I said that it is honestly pretty easy. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you why it's pretty fucking easy. I'm someone that's played multiple Metroidvanias. I played Ori, I played Hollow Knight, I played Moonscars, I've played Gal Guardians and shit like that. YOHANE the Parhelion has to be the easiest Metroidvania I've ever fucking played. It is so easy to me, in fact, that it got boring very quickly the first time I played it. It was so hard for me to get into at first that I was starting to regret actually buying the fucking game. It was only like $30, but still, it started to feel like a fucking waste of money to me. It was really boring to me at first compared to like all the other Metroidvanias I played. Oh yeah, another Metroidvania, Ender Lilies. That's a really good one too. When it comes to games, okay, I like playing games for fun. Who doesn't like playing games for fun? Unless you're a fucking psychopath. But YOHANE the Parhelion, although it's kind of fun, it's so easy that it takes away a lot of that feeling of achieving something and actually deserving it. You know, kind of like how when you play Dark Souls or something, you know, a game that's really fucking challenging, one that you spend hours on trying to, you know, get through like a certain fucking part or whatever, right? And then when you finally do it, that satisfaction that hits you, you're like, yes, I fucking did it. You freaking pop off. You're screaming. Your fucking face is all red and sweaty and crap. Your fucking room and chair that you've been freaking sitting in for goddamn hours straight smells like fucking body odor. You haven't showered in a fucking week. You're starving out of your mind. You're dehydrated as freaking shit. Your piss looks like liquid fucking Velveeta gold cheese. That type of freaking shit. You know, that satisfaction, that dopamine rush, it's amazing. That's what I like with, you know, games. I love challenge. I don't like playing a game that basically is so easy that a fucking toddler can beat it. I want to play something that has a little bit of oomph to it. Hollow Knight, for example. Hollow Knight is a decently hard game. Okay? You got Moonscars. Moonscars is a pretty fucking hard game. Okay? And then you got Gal Guardians. Gal Guardians is intermediate. It's pretty difficult. Like, it's challenging enough to where I actually enjoy it without getting overly frustrated with it. YOHANE the Parhelion, the only time that I ever got frustrated with it is when I was just getting straight up bored of the fucking game. Like when I was playing it long enough to where I was like, oh my fucking gosh, when am I going to start having fun with this goddamn game? That's how it freaking felt. Now, don't get me wrong, I still did have fun with the game. Just not as much as I really was hoping I would have. It disappointed me a little bit. So that's why I was really confused of why I saw a lot of 5-star reviews for the game. Now, I guess something I could take into consideration is the fact that maybe they're huge fans of Love Live Sunshine, and like Yohane specifically, or whatever. Like, I mean, I don't mind Love Live. I don't love it. I know I'm saying that as I literally have Love Live figures and I'm wearing the fucking Love Live Sunshine shirt. And, it's not a very good look. But hear me out. Um, I I got all this shit because my friend Alex really likes it, and I liked watching Love Live Sunshine with him. I liked talking about it with him. By myself, I would never ever look up anything Love Live related because I don't care that much. I only care about it when my friend Alex is talking about it or discussing it or whatever. That is when I show interest, because my friend Alex and I, we like doing things together. We like talking together. We like playing shit together. We like watching each other play shit. He loves watching me play Tekken 6, for example. He loves watching me play like certain things, fucking Smash Bros, whatever the fuck. So when I found out that YOHANE the Parhelion was a Love Live game that I could actually get on my Xbox and stream, I said, wow, that's fucking awesome. I definitely got to get it. But I'm mainly getting it because of Alex, so that he can watch and get some experience, of actually seeing what the fuck it's all about, to see if it's actually good or not, because I know that he likes Love Live. Definitely a shit ton more than me. So yeah, that's why I got the game to fucking begin with. Unfortunately, the game was ever so slightly disappointing to me. The story was very, very generic. The whole, oh my gosh, this fucking dungeon, it just appears out of nowhere, and it doesn't really explain why it's there at all. I mean, I think the final boss of the game, like the final boss, which spoiler alert, is just a giant fucking fish thing. I think that thing created the dungeon. It's never really said as to why or what the purpose of the dungeon is, why it's in Numazu, anything like that, which I guess doesn't matter too much, but it still would have been nice to get a little more lore detail, I guess. Because after beating the game, I felt very unsatisfied with the story because of how just bland it is. It's not bad, it's just bland, that's all. Kind of like how when you eat saltine crackers or toast without any fucking butter on it. It's like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't taste like shit. It's just boring as fuck. That's why you put butter on fucking toast. That's why you season bland ass freaking plain old fucking chicken breast or some shit, you know? You add a little something to it so that when you're actually eating it, it's enjoyable. With YOHANE the Parhelion, it's bland as hell. It's bland as a bowl of white fucking rice. The hell, maybe even brown rice, because white rice honestly tastes a little bit fucking better. As crazy as that fucking sounds. They're both bland as absolute shit. You get my fucking point. The story, very generic. The actual game design, the sprite work, is it's not the best, but it's good. I'd say it's good. It's good enough. The designs of the enemies are interesting. A lot of the designs for the enemies seem very random. But when I actually looked into what some of the enemies are supposed to be, I was like, okay, you know what? That makes more sense. Because this game takes place in an underwater dungeon. So how the fuck is Yohane and the other girls breathing? I have no fucking idea, but they are. But all the enemies that are in the dungeon are sea creatures. Okay, they're like sea monster type things. So you're gonna see like a lot of fucking fish like creatures, and fucking, you know, like and crab type creatures and squid or octopus type creatures, whatever the fuck. You get the damn point. Um, but some of the designs like just seem very out of place, but I guess I can't really complain too much because it's a fucking video game. Who gives a fuck, right? Um, but all in all, the designs, some of them are kind of unique, some of them are very uninspired. So that's another thing that kind of ruined things for me. Um, with games like, um, you know, Gal Guardians, for example, the designs of the enemies in that game are, you know, very fitting, I want to say, for the actual game. There's a lot of unique designs, a lot of interesting mechanics for the character. I mean, not characters. The enemies. In YOHANE the Parhelion, there's not a lot of uniqueness with enemies. Attack wise, design wise, there's not a lot of it. It's pretty uncommon in the game, so that also is kind of disappointing. Like I said, it's not the worst. It's just really nothing to, you know, scream home about. Uh, Now, when it comes to the difficulty of the game, like I said, it was really easy to me. Now, obviously, there were points in the game where, you know, I would die and all that shit. But if I'm being honest, that was a fucking skill issue on my end because I wasn't really casting and making, you know, weapons and accessories as much as I should have been, until like later on in the fucking game. Once I started actually doing that, the game became so easy, it's not even fucking funny. Uh, a game being too easy is not always a good thing. It really depends on the type of game. When it comes to a Metroidvania, when someone gets a Metroidvania, they expect the game to be pretty goddamn challenging. Just like how, whenever anybody is buying a Dark Souls game, a Souls game, they are expecting it to be really fucking hard. Okay, that's why they fucking get it. Uh, with this game, I was expecting it to be maybe not as challenging as like Moon Scars or Gala Guardians or like Hollow Knight, whatever. But I wasn't expecting it to be as much of a breeze as it was. And what doesn't help matters even more is the fact that the game is very short, too. There's nothing that's like new game plus about it. Like whenever you beat the game, there's only like one extra like thing after beating the game, and that's like the final boss, I guess. At least I think. Um, Other than that, though, there's not like a whole lot of new game plus shit happening that you can actually do, like secret collectibles that you can go get in new game plus. Like there's none of that. So like once you beat the game, really all that there is left to do, if you want to do it, is just collect all the treasures and all the rooms or whatever. Get all the girls' items so that you can unlock their secondary abilities. I guess that's really it. There's not a whole lot of replayability for the game. Which I guess kind of makes sense. It's only a Metroidvania. It's not like fucking Minecraft or Animal Crossing or Skyrim where you could probably play that game for the rest of your fucking life and still come up with some bullshit to do. There's a lot of replay value with those kinds of games. Not really with this one. What makes matters worse with this game, it being as short as it is, it just, you could beat it in like a sitting. If I knew how short that game was, I literally think I could have beaten it in one fucking sitting. Like, I'm pretty sure there are literally people who have done speed runs for this game, surprisingly enough, and have beaten it in like an hour or under an hour, and 100%ing it too. Not just like beating the game without getting all the girls, items for their secondary abilities. No, no, no. Beating the game and getting everything. They can still do it in an hour or under an hour. That's how short this fucking game is. I really was not expecting it to be as fucking short as it was. So yeah. And short games aren't always bad. Like, for example, I love the River City Girls franchise. I love River City Girls, River City Girls 2, River City Girls 0. I like those games a lot. They are pretty short games, all things considered. Now, can you beat them in a sitting? Like no new game plus, just fresh game, beat it in one sitting? Yeah, I think so. Did I do that? No. I spent like a couple days before I actually beat the entire fucking River City Girls game. But the thing is with, River City Girls 1 and 2 and all that shit is there's more replayability for it because there's new game plus shit for River City Girls 1 and 2. The first game has a secret final boss and secret ending. And there's also collectibles, like a lot, like a couple collectibles actually, but there's like a lot of them, like in how much you actually have to get. In River City Girls, you have to collect cats and you have to break these statues. In River City Girls 2, there are secret rooms that have like these golden bricks that, like, when you get them, you unlock secret assist fighters or whatever, like Jam or Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear, which is still insanely fucking cool, by the way. I love that they're in River City Girls 2. It's like so random, but it's so cool at the same fucking time. I love that shit. Anyway, I'm getting off fucking track. This isn't about that. River City Girls 1 and 2, they're both relatively short. The first one is definitely shorter than the second one, but the game is pretty fun. The voice acting is nice, character designs, everything about it is really unique for a beat 'em up game. Story-wise, it's very goofy, but it's purposely goofy. It's very, it's like satire. It's purposely being, fucking silly. So that's why it works. It's executed well. With YOHANE the Parhelion, it's a very short game, but it's a game that you're supposed to somewhat take seriously. Not like take seriously to the point of like it's like a Dark Souls game or like fucking God of War or some shit. No, this is a game that you're literally playing as a fucking, like, a little girl essentially. And she has her fucking friends or whatever that are also like little kids, sort of, I think. I don't fucking know. They're like teenagers or whatever the fuck, I believe. And they have like their quirky little comedic moments sometimes as well, where you're like, I can't take this shit seriously. So, yeah. Overall, my rating of YOHANE the Parhelion Blaze in the Deep Blue, out of 10, I would give it like, I'd give it like maybe a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10. It is very mid for a Metroidvania. For a game in general, it's pretty alright. It's just, if you're someone who really likes Metroidvanias, you're probably gonna be at least a little disappointed with this one. It's not nearly as good as a lot of the other ones, like Hollow Knight, like Ori, whatever. It gets the job done. You know, it's pretty all right. It's an all right game, but that's why it's only getting like a 6 or a 6.5. Anything higher than that is like, you know, definitely a pretty damn good game that's worth buying. Is this game really worth $30? Maybe. I guess so. I mean, River City Girls, I think when I got it was like $20 to $30, and that game has more replay value than the YOHANE game. So that's why I think that $20 to $30 for River City Girls is worth it. But for this game, not so much. There's not a whole lot that you get out of it. You play it, you beat it, and you're just kind of done. I'm not really a huge fan of games that are like that. Like, I'll enjoy the game. Once I beat the game, though, I never play it again. I like games that I can always go back to, you know, like someday and be like, man, yeah, I love playing this shit. I used to play this shit back in the fucking days or whatever the fuck. I don't really see myself doing that with YOHANE the Parhelion. Even though I do like Love Live, I'm not that big a fan of it to the point where I would play it ever again. I don't think I'm ever going to play it again. Unless my friends want to see me, like, play the boss rush bullshit on stream, like on Twitch or on Discord, whatever. Other than that, though, no. It's not fucking worth it. It's an okay game, kind of fun, mostly boring, bland story, random ass fucking abilities for the girls. There's not a lot wrong with it, but it's a lot of things that could really be improved upon, and also some minor nitpicking. So yeah, that that has been my review for YOHANE the Parhelion Blaze in the Deep Blue. I swear to God, if I'm getting that fucking name wrong, that I'm gonna be bullshit. It's the YOHANE the Parhelion game that is on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and Steam. So not the card game. I'm pretty sure it's a card game. Not that game. The Metroidvania game that's on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, Steam. Yeah, so that's been my review. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. That was really fucking fun. Now I'm going to relax and totally not think about playing Catherine Babel Axis Mundi. If you know, you know. I'll see you guys in the next video.